60, and today we're finna be doing an astrological observation of the sky. I was just going live. I was just live on IG, and I was going deep into these energies, but they just cut my live off for some odd reason. And now I can't go back live, and I wasn't even talking about nothing bad. That's crazy. I was talking about fucking. I said, but let me get back to the point so y'all won't get misdirected, misconstrued about what I was actually talking about. I was talking about fucking, but the spaces I was coming from, I was talking about us coming together as a soul tribe and fucking and things of those natures, creating this new phenotype, creating beautiful creatures, and you know what I'm saying. I was getting deep into the energies until they cut my live off. Now I'm kind of upset because I had a good ass video. I was really going. I was on point and everything. But we finna try to get back into these energies. You know what I'm saying? Try to make some of the points I was making since I can't go back live on IG no more. I wasn't even talking about nothing. But I was talking about the sun in Libra, the sun in Libra, moon in goddamn, the sun in Libra, moon in Cancer. How this deals with your internal reflection and how you relate to others, how we need to be relating to ourselves first, and making sure that we're able to relate to ourselves in a more healthier, more sophisticated way, and constructing those and making sure that we're not being lost into our emotions and our feelings before we start to present ourselves externally to the external world, because our vibe is what attracts other individuals. And if we are, in a negative vibration, that's going to be producing our aura. So we got to make sure that we are in a good vibration so that we have a good healthy aura around us that can attract the right individuals to our space so that we can start to relate to on a one-on-one basis when it comes to, these are going to be the energies that we're going to be consciously aware of. How well are we able to deal with relationships? How well are we able to relate on a one-on-one basis with the sun being in Libra? And this is going to be the internal frustration and conflict that we're all going to be going through, because we all still may be dealing with some internal insecurities, some grudges, and we still may be doubting ourselves in some areas when it comes to other aspects that's being created, and other aspects that's happening when it comes to all these square energies that's being in the sky that may have us in this state of being of confusion. So we may still be a little bit confused when it comes to the things that we need to be connected to, the people that we need to be connected to, because we're all still in a space of being in search of like-minded individuals that we can connect to on a more deeper level. Because when it comes to, Venus going into Scorpio, Saturn and Pisces, Mars and Cancer, we're all going to be yearning for some form of emotional connection, a more of an emotional, spiritual, deeper connection that we can feel a little bit more vulnerable around those individuals when it comes to us opening up ourselves and making sure that we're opening up ourselves around the right individuals, instead of us opening up ourselves around the wrong individuals that can end up taking advantage over us. Or, we end up getting the short end of the stick because the sun is in Libra. So we got to be extra aware of those energies as well, making sure that we don't get too comfortable around people, places, and things that's not like-minded, and then we end up giving them an inch and they start to take the whole mile from us. And now we feel like we been taken advantage over, and we can't really point the finger or play victim energies, because we allowed it at the end of the day. So we got to make sure that we're not allowing these energies. We got to make sure that we're not allowing individuals to take advantage over us. We got to make sure that we're not allowing individuals to manipulate us, manipulate us, or traumatize us, because what we built that relationship on was already built on shaky grounds or trauma bonding and things of those natures. So we got to make sure that we're not trauma bonding and just wanting to connect to individuals that's in that same holistic demonic space as us, if we're in those spaces, in those trauma unfulfilled spaces. Because the same way that we start a relationship, that's going to be the same way that relationship ends. So you got to make sure that you start in a relationship on healthier terms, making sure that we're in the right, making sure that we're dealing with ourselves first, making sure that we did that self-evaluation and took that self-accountability, and went through enough experiences so we can be able to carve out our capabilities and our incapabilities, so we can know what type of boundaries we need to be setting, and what type of individuals we need to be participating with, and what type of things that we need to be restricting in our life, because those things may be unuseful or they won't serve any purpose to the current spaces that we're in. So just understanding that energy and understanding that those are the energies that we're going to have to kind of formulate and kind of build and start to think and initiate conversations and start to communicate when it comes to wanting to share connections on a more deeper level. We need to make sure that we're around the right individuals that can be able to comprehend and reciprocate that energy, instead of individuals that may not be in that same space as you. So you try to, create something to start a relationship with this individual, and you think that everything is good because that person has a good job, that person has the car, that person knows how to get from point A to point B, and you know how to get from point A to point B. Y'all building y'all relationship based on, the shadow government way of relating, instead of both of y'all having a purpose and coming together and letting that purpose carve out circumstances and scenarios for the both of you. So just understanding that energy and understanding that those are the ways that we need to start connecting in this new time, because we're all going through this shift, we're all going through this new space right now where it's going to be a little bit more prominent to make sure that we're around the right individuals, so our kindness won't be taken for weakness, our kindness won't be taken for granted. Now we are devaluing, now we feel like, and that can put us in a hole spiritually, because we open up ourselves to individuals and we had all these beautiful dreams and imaginations that we was going to be with these individuals and we was going to get cherished and valued by these individuals, and then we end up getting taken advantage. It's because you allowed it. You got to make sure that you're putting yourself in a space where you're valuing yourself, you're cherishing yourself, and you are the energies that you are in search for. So you're going to be the representation of what somebody else needs in their life, because they may lack that, and hopefully you get around the right individuals that won't take advantage over what God gave you, because God may have gave you something that you need to protect, something that you need to shelter, something that you need to hold dear to you. Because once you feel like that piece of you has been taken, that piece of you has been left to rotten, that fruit that God gave you, you gave somebody else that fruit and they bit that fruit and spit it out. Now you feel bad about yourself. Now you feel down about yourself. Now you devaluing yourself. Now you feel less than. So we got to understand those energies. And even if we go through those energies in those circumstances and situations, it's going to be up to us not to hold so much of a grudge against those individuals, against those toxic, demonic individuals, because that may have been their agenda all along. That may have been what they wanted to do all along, and they may not have known any better, because they may be comfortable and used to being in those holistic spaces where they just want to take advantage over a good person. So you can have a good heart, but you got to understand how to protect your heart. You got to understand how to protect yourself, because it doesn't matter if you have a good heart or not. We're in a world filled with demons and parasites and vampires who will use your empathy against you and make you feel like you're the victim and put you on guilt trips and things of those natures. So you got to understand what's going on. You got to understand how to correlate your spirit. You got to make sure that you're around the right individuals that just won't drink you up, and then once they finish drinking you up, they just throw you to the curb. Now you're drunk up like a prune, and you're not able to produce these thoughts and feelings yourself, because once you get back into that space of starting to feel comfortable with yourself, you start to feel less than. You start to feel like you're going to get used again. You start to feel like you're going to get abused again. So now you're scared to experience. Now you're scared to open up yourself. Now you're scared to open up your heart, because what these individuals may have done to you in the past. But we can't let the past determine our future. So we got to be the strong spirit nowadays. You got to be the strong spirit to be the one to show God that regardless of what happened in my past, I still got my will. I still got my sword. I still got my shield. I'm still going to fight. I'm still going to be a warrior. I'm still going to be a spiritual warrior, regardless of how these individuals may have treated me. Even if I was naive in these circumstances and situations, and I wasn't seeing the signs that you was giving me at the moment, because I was blinded by all the good lights and illusions that was enticing my imagination at the moment. So you got to understand what's going on. You got to understand how to be able to talk to God, because this is how God be trying to talk to you. God be wanting you. God be testing you. God put people in your life for a lesson, because that may be something that you need to learn. That may be something that you need to overcome. So you got to make sure that you're not letting these energies make you doubt yourself. You got to make sure that you're not letting these energies make you feel less than. You got to make sure that you're not letting these energies, these people, these past circumstances and scenarios that happen make you run away from what God has for you, what all possibility has for you. And God always gonna make sure, especially if you God's child, God is always gonna make sure that you bounce back 10 times harder. You know what I'm saying? God is always gonna have you God is going to be the one that's going to be talking to you, making sure that you got the confidence every day. Even though things may not be looking promisable, you may not be getting the validation, you may not be getting the attention, you may not be getting the likes, you may see everybody being lost, you may see everybody being confused, you may be like, dang, where do I fit in? Where can I get in? Where do I fit in? I'm lost. Where's God? But God is there. God is with you. God is there the whole time. God is with you. So you can't ignore God. Don't ignore God. Don't ignore what God has in store for you. Because this is the type of energies that we're all going through. Because this world is lost. This whole world is lost. Everybody in this world is lost. So you got to understand that. You got to be the energies yourself. You got to be what you want to be. You got to be yourself. You got to be true to yourself. You got to know how to value yourself. You got to know how to love yourself. And the better that you know how to love yourself and produce those types of fruits for God, that's you feeding God at the moment. That's you being a vessel for God. Instead of you letting these other people, places, and things dictate your emotions, dictate your feelings, dictate your decision making. So those are the energies that we're going to have to kind of understand this Libra season. And then we're also going to be having the moon in Cancer. So this is going to be the internal conflict that we're going to be going through, because we may be going through these feelings and these emotions and have all these women, have all these bitches talking to us, trying to persuade us, trying to redirect our goals and our visions and our ideas. We may have all these bitches in our ear trying to talk, trying to make us feel less than, trying to make us worry, trying to make us doubt ourselves, because we may feel incapable, just because we may haven't experienced what we think that we need to experience. We really need to slow down a little bit, especially if you're my age, especially if you're Gen Z. If you're out here just trying to be too fast, you're going to end up making a mistake. You're going to end up making a mistake, creating unnecessary soul ties. You don't want to do that. You don't want to put yourself in that space. So always keep that in mind, especially if you're a Gen Z. So you got to slow down a little bit. But that's how these feelings is going to be impacting us. That's how these bitches and all these women is going to be talking of us, these emotions. And we may agree to them. You know what I'm saying? Don't be agreeing to these women. Don't be agreeing to these bitches. Don't be agreeing to these whores. You got to look at your emotions and your feelings like, you just a whore. You're not me. You're just a whore. All these inner conversations, these inner dialogues that you may be having with your emotions, you got to understand that these things are working through you. Don't agree to these things. Don't agree to no emotion. Don't agree to no feeling. Damn near don't agree to no thought. Men and women lie. Men, thoughts, women's emotions lie. They lie. They create a bed. If you let these things lie to you, they're going to create a bed that you have to lie in. And you may not like that bed. That bed may be uncomfortable. That bed may have that you're not going to be able to gain any type of comfortability in that bed that they're creating this lie for you to lie in as a spirit. So always keep that in mind as well when it comes to your men and your women lie to you. So don't let these things be lied. Don't let these things lie to you. Don't let these things persuade you. Don't let these things misguide you. Don't let these things redirect your decision making. Put you on a whole different path that's away from God, because you want to feel validated. You want to get that validation. You want to participate with the washy-who world. You want to participate with the low-hanging fruit world, because you see people becoming successful, because you see people reaching, getting into positions fast in the washy-who Jewish jealous government, shadow government, demonic type of world, and now you want to taste those fruits. But you got to keep in mind, God works in mysterious ways. God put those people there for a reason. God put them people there for a reason. And those people may not have what you have, because what you have is something that God gave you. What they have is something that was created to keep them docile, to keep them in the low-hanging fruit state of being, to keep them being in jealous spirits, to keep them being in envy spirits, to keep them competing with each other, being jealous, hating on each other. You don't want to participate with that world. You don't want to participate with those people. You don't want to participate in that way. Trust me. You don't want to participate with those types of individuals. You don't want to be in that space producing and emanating those thoughts and feelings, and that end up being a cost in the clothing that you wear as a spirit. Now you're being seen as a negative individual, a nasty individual, and you think it's right because you got money. Money don't unlame a nigga. Money don't make a nigga. Because you got money, that doesn't mean you're still a lame ass nigga. At the end of the day, you're still a shitty ass person. At the end of the day, you may look good on the outside, but in the inside, you ugly as shit. You will manipulate somebody real quick because you want the validation. So don't let this internal Don't let this internal fool you. Not internal, but don't let this external world fool you. Because demons, shapeshifters are walking amongst us. Demons are walking amongst us. Demonic ass spirits are walking amongst us, looking just like us. Lucifer looks just like you. Lucifer may be the most beautiful thing that you may ever see. You see a bad, you see, you know what I'm saying? You see a bad girl. Jiggly waters. Internally, that bitch may be demonic. That bitch may be ready to manipulate you. You gotta understand this. And you gotta start connecting to individuals that match these spaces that we're in when it comes to us connecting more with individuals that's a part of our soul tribe. Us connecting more with individuals that's a part of our lineage, our spiritual lineages, and things of those natures. So those are going to be the energies and the types of, you know, people, places, and things that we're really going to be in search for, especially with the especially with all these air energies being in the sky. And you know, those are going to be the energies that we're going to be kind of in search of for a sake of balance in our life. And we may have the right people, places, things already in our life that's helping us establish that balance. That's helping us understand those internal struggles that we may be going through subconsciously, internally, because you know, we may just got out of relationships. We may just got out of high school. We may just got out of negative circumstances and situations. And we may not know how to deal with these things. You know what I'm saying? We may not know how to deal with all these thoughts and these feelings that we're being previewed to because we're in a whole new space. And you know what I'm saying? We got to make sure that we're doing the internal work first. We got to make sure that we're doing the internal self-evaluation so that we can be able to present ourselves in a more sophisticated way, so that we won't end up, you know, manipulating people or being manipulative or playing out energies of getting taken advantage over or taking advantage over people. You know what I'm saying? That's the money. God don't like ugly. You got to make sure that you come to God with pure intentions. You know what I'm saying? Venus is in Scorpio. Venus getting ready to go into Scorpio. So it's going to be a lot of those energies getting played out in the world. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are going to be lost into those desires. A lot of people are going to be lost into those demon urges when it comes to their love matters, the way that they've been going about love, appreciation, and value, and relatability and compromise and things of those natures. A lot of people are going to be lost into those energies. So you got to make sure that you're not getting lost into those energies, or being around individuals that can't wait to sting you, that has an alternative motive or secret agendas against you. And you also got to make sure that you're not the one with the alternative motives or secret agendas, so you can be able to produce healthier fruits and start to take more power control over these energies, instead of you letting these energies take power control over you. Now you being a nasty, narcissistic, self-entitled type of spirit, and God can't use you at that point because you've been a vessel for the demon. You've been a vessel for Satan. God likes spirits that come to them with pure intentions. So you got to make sure that you got a pure intention, and that you're not just trying to use individuals or stab individuals or hurt individuals and think that's cool at the end of the day, because you may get validated from hurting individuals. So you think that you're doing the right thing, but in all actuality, what God see is you being a shitty ass spirit. You need to sit your ass down a little bit. You need to sit your ass down a little bit, child. You got to sit your ass down a little bit, child, before you get hurt, child. Sit your ass down some, child, before you get hurt, child. Seriously, this how God be. Because you crossing boundaries. You crossing esoteric boundaries. You try to manipulate the world to work into your favor. The world don't work like that. You better listen to mama. You better listen to mama. You better listen to what mama's telling you. You better get up off your ass and start to change yourself. Start to take your power back. Start to do things right before you get eradicated. Real shit. Before you get your ass eradicated, before you get your ass taken control over, before your ass die. You know what I'm saying? Before your ass die, go to die. You know what I'm saying? Better peep game. You know what I'm saying? Before your ass get eradicated out there in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta understand what's going on. You gotta understand how these energies is playing out. You gotta understand what the type of energies that we need to be aware of as well when it comes to, you know, Venus being a Scorpio, because we're all going to be yearning for some form of spiritual and a deeper connection. I think it's those natures. So this is going to be us having to, you know, decipher if we're around the right individuals that we can feel open, that we can open up our stargate to, that we can open up ourselves to. And this is those natures. But yeah, I wanted to go deeper. I got a headache. Yeah. I was going deep, man. They done got down eradicated my whole life. I was going deep on these energies. They eradicated my whole life, bro. I got a fucking migraine. Goddamn sinuses. You know, the weather's changing and shit. I want to get back in that space, but you know what I'm saying? I might have to, you know what I'm saying? I might have to chop it up. You gotta get some rest, go some sleep, you know what I'm saying? I gotta get some sleep, now. You know, I'm a fucking migraine, I'm a fucking big ass post inside of my head, just posting and shit, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I don't know why they did that. I don't know why they just took my whole live, my whole video down on IG. You know what I'm saying? I'm just stop. I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to goddamn get IG some grace now. You know what I'm saying? But they always take my videos down and shit. That was goddamn redirecting my spirit. I be on point, you know what I'm saying? I'm in good spiritual spaces and shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get IG some grace now. Yeah, I don't know, I might end this live though. I want to talk about some more about these energies though. Got the moon. Bear with me, y'all. Bear with me. Whoever watched this moon, I don't know, the moon conjunct to Mars are gonna be, you know, emotionally reacting and responding to our passions and shit. Man, I'm just finna end this live. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back on YouTube another day. Give out a video another day. But yeah, I think I got all the energies out that I needed to get out. You know what I'm saying? I got all the energies out that I needed to get out. But yeah, it's been Hoot 360. Sun in Libra, Moon in goddamn Moon in Cancer. Balancing our internal natures, balancing our heart, balancing how we deal with our insides, balancing how we deal with our internal state of being and well-being, things that deals with the home, family, privacy, domestic issues, things of that nature. But yeah, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna check in with y'all another day. I hope y'all stay spiritually protected. Peace.